So market's gapping down a lot with the Apple terrible warning. But it's pretty clear that since we bottomed after about 2 weeks of selling, that buyers have been very happy to step up above 245, mainly above 247. Actually, you can see it pretty clearly on the daily. So this was too steep. It was unsustainable. We bounced above it. Now what we're looking to see is if we can break back inside of this 260 to 250 meltdown. Kind of was thinking 253 to 254 would be the spot if we broke through here. The chances of that happen, I believe, are reduced because of the Apple warning. Although right now the market's trying to show signs that it can break back above this, hold above 248. I put on the game plan notes. You can see that this is going to be big in a weak market. When the market bounces and then spends a few days being accumulated at higher prices, the time with which it needs to break to the upside expires usually after a few days. So I'm not going to say today is the last time, but certainly by tomorrow, if we don't take out the high from the last few days, the chances of us rolling over and testing 240 to 242 are pretty high. Of course, obviously, I'm sure many people think, we could just go right through there, put in a new low, all that. We're just not seeing signs of that yet. It's just the market's been holding up really well on these overnight gap downs. Right at the end of the day, we closed 250. The Apple warning came out. We rolled over with Apple. I didn't put that on the sheet, but we will talk about Apple. We'll definitely talk about Apple. The main thing is to not overtrade it. So here's kind of the way I'm looking at it today. I'm short from above 250. I'm sorry, I'm hedged from above 250. I still have some 250 calls left. I bought a couple, when we were down in the 230s that expire tomorrow. And covered some in the after hours down here. We shorted some up here at 248. And I want to see, we can't hold, let's say, we can't hold in this area up here on the open in the first 15, 20 minutes. We start to roll, we're going to be focused on staying short for a test of this. The Qs are going to be getting kibosh because of the Apple. So Qs closed at 155. Apple news came out, they went to 152. Ouch. We are back above 152 now. And this seems like a spot potentially where the Qs would be short. We'll check in with Apple, kind of see where that is. But 152.5 to 153, right here. This would be the spot. It'll be a testament to the strength of technology overall if this actually gets taken out and we start to hold above it again. But right now, my first thought would be we would fail into this. IWM should be less impacted by this news. This is pretty good. Just a very clear uptrend off the lows. So, yeah, I would say as long as IWM's above one, that's a ways to go down there. Let's see. Just from a bigger picture perspective, I'm looking at it like this from a couple of days ago, the pullback into 132.60s. I would say as long as we're above this right here, I'd be continuing to look for it to eventually hit that our 136 target. It got really close yesterday. Did get out above 135, failed. did double top up there at 135. So if it gets up to like into the 135 area today, I'd watch it really closely. And by the way, like when things tend to hit the targets, the longer term targets I put in, I'm usually conservative. So if it actually hits 136 like quickly in the first few hours, if you want me to give you a best case scenario, it would be something like that. I'm short the 140 calls, still long the calls we bought down here at 126, long some 130 puts. So really been able to capture this whole move, just trying to capture a few more dollars, a couple more dollars. All right, so BMY is buying CLG. They did a cash and a stock offer. Not spending too much time how these merger arb situations work. This does seem like one that actually could be tradable. They're doing $50 cash plus 1 share of BMY for every share of Celgene. There's a lot of Celgene shares outstanding, 700 million. The equivalent deal price is basically at $50 cash to the current price of BMY. That's 98. If we look at where Celgene is trading right now, it's at 89, so it's a $9 spread. That basically means if you get long Celgene today and you get short BMY, when the deal closes, you'll capture that $9 spread. Plus, there's a kicker. If certain drugs get approved by the FDA over the next couple of years, there's another $9 of upside. If I was running a risk arb fund, this would be a deal that I would actually look to put on that spread. And so what's important to recognize is the stock has already bounced a lot. Meaning like the deal supposedly, the analysts are coming out and they really like the deal. They think it's going to be accretive, which means EPS will go up for BMY. So you can see it went from 44 to 46, then went to 48 here. When it got to 48, it pulled back about 80 cents. Now it got to 48 again. So the buyers are technically in control. When the market opens, if merger arb funds start to put on this spread, meaning get short BMY and long Celgene, you'll see a massive volume uptick and pretty nice size red bar. And once that happens, as long as they're continuing to put that deal on, BMY will go down, even if the deal is liked overall by the market until the merger arb guys are done, which could last a couple of days. And so that's kind of the trade. So I just want you to be aware of that, even if it looks like strong right on the open. As soon as you see like a strong red bar, that could be the sign of the funds putting on the deal. I haven't seen anything about governmental risk, so it seems like this is. Well, let's let the price action dictate. By 10 o'clock, if it's looking like it's in a downtrend BMY, there's a good chance it could just continue all the way back down to the pre-market lows. And then Apple. So I was not on the desk when they first came out of the halt at 150. Absolutely, the warning was awful. They lowered guidance by an amount that seemed to indicate that China sales collapsed. Because they lowered the guidance 8%, and so let's say China's 20% of their sales, double that, it's like 16% drop in China. So at a minimum, it was a short down to the low from last week. Obviously, people were thinking the same thing because they slammed it right through that. It bounced back up to that level, and people just kept on shorting it, driving it down another $3. And so now we kind of have a starting range for today. So I would say this news basically is shaken off. If it closes above this fill band right here, to me that says the news is being shaken off. On the downside, 145, basically 145, 146 and a half, 147. Those are the two spots I look at to see if it gets sold. I don't know how much more downside there is below 142, 142 and a half. I suppose maybe I could try to push closer to 140. There's going to be some bottom fishers on this today, absolutely. Here's what it looks like from a longer term perspective. And so obviously some of that China news was already priced in. That's why the stock sold off from 230 down to 150. Based on what I was seeing and people who are pretty smart that I've talked to, that this was not the level of this warning was not anticipated. And so not for today, but from a bigger picture perspective, maybe it does work its way back into the 130s. If the market overall melts down through last week's low, I guess it could come all the way back down to where it started in the beginning of 2017 into the high 120s, 130. From a longer term perspective, you're looking to get involved in Apple over the next couple of years. It's probably a buy right now and then into here, with upside over the next few years back up to 200. A big dividend. Second is technical plays. So Tesla yesterday, they did miss on deliveries of Model 3s. It got slammed on the open. It did bounce $15. I would say I wouldn't be more constructive on the stock, bigger picture, until it started to have some closes above 310. So it got above 310 in the afternoon. They slammed into the close. It's gapping down this morning. So I started to see it kind of holding up in this area here for a couple of days and then broke to the upside. I believe it's going to work its way higher. But right now, other than buying it, I actually tried on right in the open. I think I bought 301.5 or something like that. Got stopped out. Not quite at the low, but pretty close. Give it a shot on the flush through this low right here. First move is up today and actually gets above this, and then kind of starts holding in this area. Then would be interesting to me. And then, of course, if it has some closes below 300, that would be pretty bad. Watt. So Watt's on the sheet because it turned out to not be a one-day wonder. It overshot to the upside. Obviously, people were looking at it on this day above 6. Went up to 9. They kiboshed it right back down to where it started. Actually went below 6. And then put in the low on, I guess this was Monday, went all the way down to pretty much erased almost this entire move. And then yesterday got back above 6, where I'm sure people started to notice it above 6 again. And so it looks, a lot of times if the news is real in these situations, you'll find out like a week or two later, meaning first day pop, it gets crushed, and people are like, that news is pretty big. They are going to have a product coming to market. And so people will start to look for it to like work its way back up to this. So, but it's already run quite a bit. Already tagged $7 yesterday, but it's definitely worth keeping an eye on, especially if it's holding above $6. USO had a big pop yesterday. I saw a news item that the results of the fracking wells were well above what people had predicted. And we know that oil's been crushed the last couple of months. So we know that it had this big pop the other day, right here. And then it was accumulated for 4 days in a row and popped again. So this is starting to look pretty good for oil putting in a bottom. And plus, Trump's been tweeting about it. So he's usually good at top ticking and bottom ticking things. Top ticked the market like 3 times in the last year. So it does look like oil could at least work its way back up to 10.5. It's up 80 cents right now, 47.7, 68 per barrel. You have 980 support. Anyway, I'd watch here if we get a quick pullback like on the open into this area here. This is an interesting spot to buy against 980. You can see last night it was a little bit lower. But getting in here and then nibbling and then seeing if it can actually start to hold above $10 and play for the break to the upside. So that's that. It's extremely liquid. You can play with basically unlimited size. So this week's buys failed 248 again. We want to watch this really closely. I've been really impressed by how well the market's held up the last few days. Like yesterday's gap down, that was a big gap down into the 245s. We were bought strong on the open above 248. We held 248 in the pullback here. Then they ripped it to 250. And they bought 249 and they ripped it above 250. This is a pretty vicious pullback at the end of the day through 249, but they ripped it right back up to 250 again at the end. So people are buying at higher prices. Apple is a market leader with terrible news today. If the market does not basically fall apart, this is it's a pretty good sign that we're going to get higher. As I've said, I've been very skeptical that we could get back to 260, but I'm certainly in this area right here. So, and obviously, I'm prepared to play it. If this fails here and we start to hold below 247, I do want to play a retest of yesterday's pre-market low. As always, be patient and good luck.